Hello and welcome back to the channel. Today, some more Wheel of Time news coming from Deadline Studios' Prime Experience, where showrunner Rafe Judkins reveals that the first 15 minutes of Season 3 will open with one of the most, and I quote, bonkers set pieces I've ever seen in television. The interview hosted Rafe Judkins, Rosamund Pike, Daniel Henney, Sharon Gillam, and Davina Lamont, opening with Rosamund Pike explaining how the team is exploring deepening the storylines and how much the show has been exploded open as we meet new cultures and main characters spread out, going on separate journeys to explore other worlds and other cultures. The interview also goes on with Daniel Henney and Rosamund Pike, and they discuss the challenges and depth of their roles in the Wheel of Time. Henney emphasizes the incredible amount of research required, looking to the books for inspiration, the demands of shooting including dialects and action sequences. Pike reflects on her character Moraine's struggle in Season 2 and her relationship with Lan, highlighting the emotional depth of their storyline. Overall, all parties share a deep sense of pride in what has been created. Costume designer Sharon Gillam discusses the creative opportunities the show offers, blending elements from various cultures and time periods to depict the diverse cultures within the world of the series. She also expresses admiration for the depth of detail in Robert Jordan's books. The most interesting segment of this written article came from the quote from Rafe Judkins talking about a set piece that viewers will get to see in the first 15 minutes of episode 1, saying, "I was just watching it this week, and it is absolutely bananas what our team pulled off. Just a bunch of women in their 40s and 50s shredding each other, and it's wonderful to behold." Now, this is a pretty exciting revelation because up until now, production has stayed pretty tight-lipped. This new information might give away a massive plot point to the season and show more about the structure of Season 3. Within the story itself, there are a few moments where battles take place where only women are facing off against one another. The choice of the word shredded also points to the events being pretty explicit. Because Season 3 will mainly focus on Book 4, The Shadow Rising, there are very few instances within that book to point to where women fight one another. Nearly all of those events happen between women who can channel the one power, and if I had to bet, I'd put money on the event taking place between channelers. So now I'll go into some ideas on what that event could be, the arguments for and against it, and if you haven't read the books and want to remain in the dark, this is where I say thanks for watching, like and subscribe, and I'll see you back next time. But for those of you who want to stick around, let's get into it. The most likely setting for this event would be the White Tower in Tar Valon. Personally, I think there have been clues in interviews with Rafe Judkins that point to a lot of excitement in terms of showing viewers the Black Ajah. When sitting down with Dragonmount, he said, "The level of detail that people know these characters, everyone in this writer's room, some of them who had never heard of the books before coming to the show, know every name of Liandrin's Black Ajah cabal, and we'll call her Jeannie Kadee. That's not how you pronounce her name in the books, but the love for Jeannie Kadee in the room is wild, and the amount of time that is spent talking about her versus Chesmal versus Ispan versus Rihanna, like everyone knows all of them and all of their character traits in a way that I think would shock people." So this statement points to the fact that the Black Ajah and Liandrin will most likely play some sort of a role in Season 3. But when you combine it with another quote from Judkins where he says, right at the top of Season 3, we will know what Liandrin is up to, it looks like this event could involve the White Tower storeroom, where important objects of the One Power are locked away. And in the books, this storeroom is raided by the Black Ajah and powerful Angreal are stolen. If the show goes this route, they could allow this to happen but also show a conflict taking place where the Black Ajah escapes with the Angreal but have to fight their way out of the tower. This would set up two major plot lines. One, for Elaine and Nynaeve to search out the Black Ajah and the missing Angreal, and two, reveal to the Aes Sedai that the Black Ajah really do exist. It would be another mess that Siuan Sanche would have to clean up, and the event would reflect badly on her if she's the sitting Amyrlin when it happens, which creates more ammunition against her when she is overthrown by Elaida. Overall, I don't have many counterpoints to argue against this option. It seems like the most likely in my opinion. The next option is that the White Tower coup against Siuan Sanche and led by Elaida happens in the very first segments of the season. It is one of the moments in the books that happens mostly off-page, where the reader learns what happens after the fighting is done. And it would be a really great change to the books to show it rather than tell us about it. But there are some problems with this option. For one, due to the three oaths, the Aes Sedai cannot use the One Power as a weapon against each other in an all-out slaughter unless it's against a Shadow Spawn or Dark Friend, or unless it's the last defense of their life. It would be tricky showing a big magic battle between Aes Sedai killing one another when it's not certain any members of the fight are Dark Friends. So if it does happen, Dark Friends would need to be outed in the process, which takes away some intrigue when it's revealed who the actual Dark Friends are. In the books, the fighting is mostly relegated to the warders and the younglings, a group of men being trained to become warders. Another argument against this being the moment referenced in Deadline is that it doesn't leave much time to get to know Elaida as the antagonist. But a rebuttal to that would be the scene makes her a very compelling force right out the gate. Another option could be that this conflict is something within the book series that happens in the past during the War of Power, where sides have been chosen amongst channelers for and against the Dark One. With the finale of Season 2 introducing new Forsaken like Moghedien, it's possible we get insight into their lives during this time frame, where channelers are fighting one another in an actual war. At this time, male channelers have succumbed to the taint on Saidin, and we could see someone like Moghedien and other female Forsaken fighting the remaining forces of female Aes Sedai. Visually, this time period would be really unique to show and would give a lot of insight into who the new Forsaken are, their personality, and their motivations. The last option that I think is possible, but perhaps a bit unlikely, is opening up the world of Tel'aran'rhiod and having a battle take place within the world of dreams. A possible scenario could be a group of wise ones being ambushed by the Forsaken. Something like this would establish a couple of things. First, the dangers of the world of dreams and the talents the Forsaken and the Aiel wise ones have within it. Second, it would highlight the setting as a place that would become a major focus of the season. And lastly, it could give insight into a character like Egwene. If this was something that is witnessed through her eyes, where she is seen by the wise ones, it would give them motivation to seek her out and train her. The last thing that I want to touch on is that I have a feeling Angreal and objects of the One Power will most likely play a crucial role in this season. With the Forsaken searching for the male item as a way to control Rand, there are also a lot of other items that will be needed to develop Tel'aran'rhiod, like the Twisted Stone Ring that will allow the wearer to slip into the world of dreams. We also have objects like Kalendor that haven't come into play yet that are a major part of the story. Another option is Matt's Foxhead Medallion. All of these objects are really important to the story, so when thinking about what event could take place mentioned in the Deadline article, the first option of the storeroom feels like a really compelling choice. It would set up a quest for Elaine and Nynaeve, influence the downfall of Swan Sanche, bring in exposition about the many objects of the One Power that are needed to the plot, set up events in the world of dreams, bring focus in on what the side of the shadow is planning with Rand, and lastly, introduce the Black Ajah as a major plot point. But now I want to hear your theories and ideas on what you think this moment could be. If you have any ideas, drop them into the comments section. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Discord. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you back next time.